your PT Plus all-in-one course lessons. Now, in this class, we're going to talk about how this all-in-one course is going to help you to unlock that 90 in PTE speaking. And firstly, we're going to start by looking at this question that is very commonly asked by so many students, which is, native speakers have no problems understanding me when I'm talking with them, but my PTE speaking scores are always so low. Okay, now some of these students coming up to me and asking these questions are receiving like 30 or 20 or even 10 marks in their pronunciation. And sometimes it can be confusing because some of them are actually using English in their daily conversations with people around them. So it can be frustrating to not understand why, their scores are low in PTE speaking. Throughout the whole course, we will clarify and explain what constitutes a low score versus a high score in pronunciation and what sort of distinct points creates high scores. Because remember that you are facing a machine, and what a machine hears is very different to what a person would hear. So what you think is good pronunciation may not be considered good by a machine. Now, I'll give you an example here. I'm firstly going to demonstrate a low score pronunciation of this sentence. Okay, so lots of people ask me how to achieve a better score in PTE speaking. Now, the sounds I'm making are very clear, right? But this could potentially be a 0 scoring pronunciation. Now, let me do a high scoring example. Okay, so when you hear this example, it will come across like I understand what I'm saying and I'm expressing the meaning behind it. Okay, and there are many factors that I'm using and applying to help me achieve that. Okay, a lot of people ask me how to achieve a better score in PTE speaking. So when you're speaking, the machine picks up on your sound waves, okay? And this is compared to a 90 mark native speaker, many native speaker sounding sound waves, okay? And basically the closer you are, the better your score will be. So we've investigated this in a lot of detail to understand what the machine actually looks for. So in the course, we're going to tell you what are all the key things you need to achieve and you need to do in order to make your sound wave similar to a native speaker's. And in the PT exam, speaking has many techniques that you can really use to help you mimic that. Now, another common question from students is, I have a really strong accent. Will I still be able to achieve top marks in PTE speaking? And the straight answer is yes, absolutely. Because what a machine detects, what it hears, is going to be different from how a person would hear it. So I've got a few examples here. For example, the word today. With a really strong Australian accent, it would be pronounced as today. Right, with like to die essentially, and it's of course pronounced differently in different accents as well, right? So can PTE be fair despite your accent? And the answer is yes, because we have many students across the world, Indians, Chinese, Nepalese, Malaysians, Italians, etc., who are achieving top scores. So it is definitely possible, right? Your accent is okay, but your pronunciation and what you pay attention to in it is really important, especially when it comes to the consonant sounds. So for example, the word laurel, right? If you're saying laurel as laurel or lol, right, without the R sound, the clear R sound, or decline as decline without the L sound, then it's going to be penalizing your pronunciation, right? right? So that's an example of certain things you want to pay attention to when it comes to your speaking and your pronunciation. Regardless of your accent, those are things of your accent, yeah, those are things that you want to pay attention to. And there are techniques that you can use to make sure that you are nailing these important aspects that the machine listens out for. So in the all-in-one course, we are going to cover how you can improve more effectively, right? Using more accurate and more effective learning methods and techniques. So for example, how you can increase the clarity in your pronunciation so that the machine can better detect your sounds, and how you can increase your fluency and your pronunciation via, word stress, sentence stress, phrasing, and vowel reductions. And also learning, what are the differences between content words and function words, and how would that signal the way that you place your stress. And then also, of course, we will demonstrate what a 90 in pronunciation would really sound like and what you need to mimic. Also, a question type that really stresses many students is repeat sentence. And many of them will think, isn't repeat sentence just testing my memory? And if my memory is terrible, like I can only remember the first 3 words or sometimes the last 3 words of the sentence, then basically I won't be able to do well. Now you can imagine, if you're preparing for the exam with this mindset, then you certainly won't be able to do well in it. And that will significantly affect your scores in the exam, because repeat sentence is a very important question type that contributes to both your speaking and your listening scores. So we're here to show you that repeat sentence isn't just about testing your memory. Okay? It is actually possible to train for it and master it, and to trick the machine into giving you a high score. Okay? So throughout the course, we will zoom in and cover all the techniques you need to master this question type. For example, some of the real methods that you can use to increase what you remember. And also, very importantly, how to fully imitate the stress and intonation within a sentence, and knowing where to place your stress so as to maximize your pronunciation and your fluency scores. And in situations where you just cannot possibly remember the whole thing, what are some of the ways you can use to simplify your answer? Or what can you sacrifice but still achieve a top score? Okay? So we will bring you through all of this and more in detail and help you train for repeat sentence and other question types as well. And one more. How does the PT machine assess my content in Describe Image and Retell Lecture? So let's say this is a question that you're facing in the exam, right? There are some common things that students find challenging. So number 1, how to fluently talk about this picture without hesitating, right? Number 2, what elements should you actually be talking about? You need to make sure you talk about in this picture, which are actually key to your content score. And number 3, of course, what else do you need to achieve to receive a 90 in Describe Image and in the exam? Okay, we will cover all types of possible images and the different techniques involved for each. For example, how to start the introduction, and then key point 1, key point 2, key point 3, how to conclude, and how to link everything fluently, as well as achieving good pronunciation. So remember, you are facing a machine, not a human. So that should give you the confidence that if you execute certain pronunciation or speaking techniques to the machine, there's a very high possibility to achieve the score you want. Okay? So the all-in-one course has a few key aims. Firstly, allowing you to be able to identify what a 90 would sound like in PT speaking and working towards that. Okay, how to work towards that. Number 2, that is being able to stress appropriate words within a sentence and speak without hesitation so as to achieve all of the key aspects you need for a high score for fluency. and of course, how to tackle the machine and most effectively maximize your score in all of the different question types. Okay? This entire course is designed to take you through everything step by step, not just the strategies you can use and techniques you need to learn, but also provide you with the most effective way to practice in order to achieve your desired score as quickly as possible. Okay, so that's all for this lesson, and I will see you in the next one.